Welcome back to Cookies and Milk, episode 83. I'm your host, William.
I'm your host, Ben. Welcome back to Cookies and Milk. As if on cue.
Hey.
Welcome back to William's Lonely Hour.
William's Lonely Hour begins.
What's up?
Very early in. Isabel, come over here. No?
Isabel's on the podcast, confirmed.
Isabel refuted to join me in the podcast. It's the Lonely Hour. Oh God.
We could probably just.
I'll just talk about Treasure Cruise. Part of me regrets making the polls that I did on Treasure Cruise because I feel like I should have waited for V2 Dofi or V2 Fuji, but I didn't want to get V2 Fuji because I already have both Law and Mihawk. So I don't. Oh, that makes sense. The Purple Skull is discounted right now, and I think Mihawk's right around the corner. So that makes sense. Huh. Isabel, give me a game to talk about. Odyssey. Mario Odyssey. A fun game through and through. Sometimes I do wish there was more, but I can't honestly say I wish there was more when I haven't beaten all there is to have in the game proper. When I say that, I really just want more lands to explore. Because when it gets down to it, I'm not really the type of person to sit down and play a game 100%, especially a Mario game. It's just, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to 100%ing a Mario game, and Odyssey is, there's a lot to it. Odyssey is a question to ask is moods that you feel when you're playing through a world in Odyssey, and which worlds you wanted to see more of, because I honestly wanted to see more of the Ruined Kingdom, and sometimes I feel like the Lake Kingdom didn't get enough in it. I feel like they didn't handle... I'm bad at this. Isabel, would you say the Lake Kingdom was enough? Like there was enough there?
No.
Isabel says no. And I agree. It didn't feel good to traverse the Lake Kingdom. Even if you could get a cheap body, it just didn't feel good.
The only thing it did have was like the whole water thing was new in that game.
Isabel says the whole water thing was new in that game, so...
In what game?
In Mario Odyssey.
That game specifically.
That game specifically. Isabel's saying that.
So what did I miss in the Lonely Hour?
You
have regrets?
Regrets for the Lonely Hour?
No, you said you regretted the polls.
I do regret the polls. Somewhat. I'm glad I got Law. I'm glad I got Boa Sandersonia and Boa Marigold. I was able to get back Streaming Wolf Zoro after I lost him. I don't really care about him. I maxed some units, but nothing stellar. Nothing like 100% amazing.
You could have stopped after Law.
I could have stopped after Law.
Which is worse? So I think about my Hody Jones poll.
Yeah.
Which is worse, starting on a Sugo and then going nowhere, or ending on a Sugo?
Starting on a Sugo and going nowhere.
That's worse?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to live with it?
Yeah. Because when you end on a Sugo, you're like, oh, it was all worth it. When you start on a Sugo, you're like, I could have stopped there.
Yeah,
and I wasted so many other gems.
But you went for Squard.
I didn't go for Squard, but I didn't have to make the third pull. But I went for the third Sugofest character.
Yeah, that's true. You went for the confirmed Sugo. And that's not a waste. It's never a waste to go for a confirmed Sugo.
Yeah. I just wish it was a new Sugo.
Yeah, it could have been anybody else. Trying to think. Spoilers for Kirby Star Allies. We
Yeah.
beat Star Allies today.
Yes.
Very good.
Isabel dancing in the back.
So, there's a complaint that's the most obvious one to make about Star Allies. Is that all things considered, it's short and it's easy.
It's so short.
And it's so easy.
Yeah.
I wonder how hard it would be if you played it single player. And like had 4, but even if you just had 3 co-op, like AI, you could just do it, no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And you sort of have to. There's a lot of parts where the game is like you need the 4 people to activate the special things. A lot of Kirby games I find that I'm like, man, I missed. At maximum, there were 2 secrets per level, and they were always very obvious.
Right, yeah.
We beat like 2 or 3 levels, and we're like, fuck, we missed the puzzle piece, we gotta go back and get it.
Mm-hmm.
Never missed the switch, because normally you just walked into the room and there was the switch.
Yeah.
But all things considered, I think it was really good.
It was an enjoyable game. And it's surprising how quick we went through it because we beat it in like 3 Mondays? 4 Mondays?
Maybe 4 Mondays. But, like, all things considered, it is just like you sit, it's like each world takes about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 4 worlds and a boss and a big final boss segment.
Yeah, that's very surprising. Like, the way I thought it was going to line up was that we would go from Popstar to more worlds.
Another world and a whole world and a whole world.
Yeah.
But I do sort of like that the game consistently got bigger on itself.
Yeah. Except it sort of went back a bit.
Yeah, because you go...
Jam Bastion Station.
You go Green Greens, that little area. Then you go to Popstar, the whole Popstar.
Yeah.
And then the entirety of the Jam Bastion.
Yeah.
And then into space, like the whole space.
Right.
And that was cool, I liked it. So, for those of you unaware, Star Allies, the new thing here in Star Allies is that you can... It's 4-player co-op, much like Return to Dreamland was, but instead of having like specific characters, you can make friends of enemies.
Yeah.
Which is a great concept, I really liked it. And it was cool doing a little extra stuff. And getting the dream allies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there were definitely parts of it that were better than others.
What are you thinking? What do you mean?
In ranking order, I think the final boss fight was a great example of 4-player co-op. The shooting and stuff?
The shooting was weird because one player controlled a whole train of players, though. You know?
But everybody else gets to shoot, everybody else gets to press the button. As compared, I mean, like, it's the same with, so that's what, the Star, what was that called?
Star Train?
No.
Starflyer or something.
Yeah. The thing with the Star where you're all 4 people as, like, a chain together and you get to fire, everybody gets to fire.
Yeah.
I think that's the best one. The next best one is probably Friend Train. That happens like once or twice in the game, and it's just like a cool thing that happens. Friend Wheel is fine. The thing that consistently got me with Friend Wheel was that like there was like you had to like have an unspoken rule with everybody about who's jumping.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could fuck up the puzzles real bad. And the worst of the worst was Friend Bridge. Every time Friend Bridge happened, I was like, great, it's the same puzzle again.
And it broke the flow of the level.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you're just like going up and going down.
What was I gonna say? Oh, well, you know what they could have done with Starflyer? Which I guess they sort of did, but it was sort of weird to do. They should, you know, the alien hominid stages where you're in the ship.
Oh, like where...
And there's the little ball around it that they move around and shoot.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they...
Would have given them more independence.
Yeah, show me moving around and not, like, trailing behind. You know what I mean?
I do like, how you had to cycle through to access powers.
Yeah, that was fun.
The downside there was that, like, you could randomly walk into,
A thing you defeat and get that power.
Yeah, with somebody you didn't want to switch off.
Right.
It didn't have one of my favorite Kirby powers. It didn't have wheel in it, and I understand why, because it doesn't. It's difficult.
It doesn't flow well with the rest of the powers.
Like it's just front wheel or front train.
Yeah.
And the combinations were cool. I feel like the coolest combinations were the ones that they didn't even like lean too much into.
Yeah, they didn't tell you about.
Psy and Rock have like the magnetic one, where you just like turn into a huge thing and the Psy like spins you around.
Yeah, and it never tells you that water and ice can work like that, or water and electric can work that way.
And you just get to like hold your thing up and like shoot things through it. Rock had some cool ones, but at the end of the day, I just like didn't. They were fine. It was cool to like have a bunch of people walking around with like element weapons, as opposed to people just like having the elements. But it's just not.
But at the end of the day, I'll say this: it doesn't give you time to slow down and really enjoy the element combinations and stuff like that. You're always moving, and you're a cluster of 4 people. And I'm glad I enjoy a 4-player Kirby experience, but I don't get to enjoy a fire sword like I can in Kirby and the Crystal Shards.
Right. Or even in Kirby and Squeak Squad.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, whoa, this is kind of neat, but the only time it actually matters is like when you have a puzzle that has to be done with it, and you're like, cool, good thing I kept this around.
Yeah.
And then like the Dream Allies, Meta Knight has the sword, Waddle Dee has a spear,
DD has the hammer.
DD has a hammer, and it's like, oh, alright, so that's all pretty good. And then like you get to Goopy and Marks, and Gooey, and they've just got like a bunch of stuff built in.
Yeah,
like, they've got like 3 elements built in, and it's just like, all right, okay.
It's interesting to have characters like that, though. I mean, well, it's fun.
I like it as a callback.
Yeah, definitely. Because they help so much, and it's like it's a nice way to do it if you don't want to go through a stage and look for those enemies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's one of the things too. Even as far as Kirby games go, because I played Robobot recently enough to have it like sort of vivid in my mind.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of puzzles that I was like, fuck, I was supposed to have this. I was supposed to carry this all the way here.
Yeah.
Not once.
They give you the
everything you need is either in the room or immediately outside.
Because for so many levels, you get what you want. You know? Like, you, more often than not, won't be carrying that thing on you.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people have given it, like, 60%. Like, between 60 and 70%.
It's definitely not. It's definitely better than that.
Yeah, I would definitely go way higher than that. I guess for the length, maybe the fact that we did play it over 4 Mondays does sort of matter to it, but I'm always iffy about grading games based on their length.
Yeah, I get it.
Because if I had a great 4-hour experience versus a fucking shitty-ass 100-plus hour experience, I'm gonna prefer the 4-hour experience.
Yeah, I can understand that. But, dude, having an amazing 100-hour-plus experience...
Oh, I mean, you can't beat it. That's a 10 out of 10 game right there.
Yeah.
But I'm fucking playing Nier right now, dude.
I know that you're speaking from Nier experience.
I'm at 105-plus hours. I was looking at a trophy guide. This fucking cat. I was looking at a trophy guide, and they're like, yeah, it's about a 5 out of 10. It's like 60 to 90 hours. And I'm like, for who? Also, did I fuck up? Am I gonna have to fucking start the game over again because I can't fight these bosses? Also, I can't find the sheep. Where are the goddamn sheep, Nier?
Where's the sheep?
There's a minigame where you have to kill sheep. Or, like, there's a trophy where you have to kill 100 sheep. Jesus. And the DLC added a minigame in where you just, like, hit them with a boar. You just, like, plow through them.
Yeah.
And I did it, like, 20 times. Or I did it, like, several times. And got, like, 20-plus every time. And I'm like, where's the trophy? Here? This is
it has to be out of the minigame.
If it does, why the fuck would they add in the minigame?
Exactly.
That makes literally no sense. And then I gotta do the fishing part. And I gotta play the game. I'm just...
Have I talked about Pirate Warriors on here?
I think occasionally.
My platinum experience with it?
Did you platinum it?
Not yet. I should, but not yet. Have I not talked about it? Have I not brought it up?
I don't think so, honestly.
That's crazy because, okay, so Pirate Warriors 3, One Piece is, well, it's One Piece Pirate Warriors 3. It's just Samurai Warriors but with One Piece on it. And
it's a, what's that kind of game called?
A Warriors game.
Yeah.
A fodder?
No, I felt like there was like a Japanese word. I can't. Muso?
What does that mean?
Probably Warriors.
One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 is a game where you play through the One Piece story, and then there's the dream mode where you fight through a bunch of different islands and get and power up your crews and stuff like that.
It's cool. It feels like Eni's Lobby all the time.
Yeah. Yes.
That's interesting to Eni's Lobby where they're just like wrecking the place entirely.
Yeah, I get that.
Cool scene, by the way. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So I need to complete the gallery now. That is my main goal in Pirate Warriors 3. In order to complete the gallery, I need to get everyone's crew level up to max. And that can be playing with them.
Or having them as assists. But
Now,
there are certain characters you can only use as assists.
you can only have certain characters as assists. And you cannot pick who is assisting you in the fight. Sometimes. Like, you can choose, like, different armies, like, oh, I want to be on Kobe's army instead of Garp's army, or whatever like that.
Right.
So you'll have Kobe fighting with you, because you don't need Garp assisting you, because you can play as Garp and get his power, you can get his crew level maxed on his own. But Kobe is an unplayable character, so you want to use Kobe. And it's just, it takes forever, man. Crew maxing a person's level it just takes forever.
Yeah.
Especially because limit breaking is very annoying. It's very grindy because your max level is normally 50. But you can level break to get to 100, which is crucial for being on Nightmare mode, the harder mode.
Yeah.
But you gotta grind out stages and hope gold coins drop. Like, for that character. So I've only limit broken like a few people, but I can't keep playing as them. Because
you
need to get other people's crew levels up.
Yeah.
So
it's
fun.
There's a certain thing to be said about a game where the platinum is just keep playing the game. Just play the game. Just play the goddamn game.
Yeah.
And not do this extra bullshit. It's not actually comparative to the game. But it's games like that where... So, did we check our percentage on...
Why don't you email me?
Did I email you now?
At 10.
That can't be right. You get scam botted?
By you?
By me? It was Ben Pettit out referral.
I'll delete it.
I want to see what it is. I want to see what I'm trying to send you.
I don't want to open this up on the podcast.
Open it up on the... What did I send William?
Just check this out.
What's it from? Email at referral.
No, it's tax.
Oh, TurboTax. Of course.
Yeah, no, I don't need this. I'm going to delete this.
Very exciting.
Let's hope this is still recording. Yep, it's still recording.
Great. I would hate to have lost that.
Gee, thanks, Ben. Thanks for making us open that up on the podcast.
You're welcome. I'm glad it was exciting. I was really worried it was going to be like...
Ooh, happy birthday to me.
Oh, yeah, it's not your birthday yet.
It's not my birthday
Bless
yet.
yourself.
But it won't be.
It will be. Oh, it won't be on the next
It won't be when this uploads.
Speaking of uploading a week later, time for our bi-weekly call.
Our bi-weekly talk about.
Is it bi-weekly? Or is that twice a week?
That's twice a week.
So, what's every other week?
You can say like bi-monthly.
That's actually correct.
Yes.
I feel like there's a word for semi-weekly? I don't know.
It wouldn't be semi-weekly, though.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what the word for it is. Let's actually pause then. Anyways, so there's a certain thing to be said about a game where you platinuming it by just playing the game.
Okay.
Over and over again. Kirby Star Allies.
This whole episode is like coming apart at the hinges.
We didn't actually finish talking about Kirby Star Allies.
Yeah, you're right. We didn't finish talking about a lot of things.
I don't remember the percentage that we ended up at after beating it, but there is still more to it.
Yeah.
Because there's always more to a Kirby game. But there's like a lot more. Like we missed like a lot of puzzle pieces. I feel like.
Yeah.
We just gotta grind those out. And then we gotta play through the time attack mode.
Yeah, there's more things to do. Because we were at 50% completion when like the game ended.
Yeah. And then maybe there's more stuff in the actual story. We gotta fight Galactonite.
Yeah.
Speaking of boss fights though, really cool final boss fight.
Yeah.
I was legitimately like meeting the 3 magicians the whole time was just like, alright, like these guys are fine. These guys are sort of like par of the course for Kirby enemies. But then like Zant showed up.
Yeah. Highness.
Yeah, Lord Highness. And like just damn. I wanna get that full transcript of everything he said.
Right, yeah.
About it to really analyze where it falls into Kirby lore.
Yeah.
People go fucking on into Kirby lore. And it's a cool thing to listen to, considering Kirby doesn't give a fuck. I don't know if the company gives a fuck about Kirby lore, but Kirby doesn't give a fuck. There's like gods fighting every other goddamn week.
The sun and moon clash regularly.
And Kirby...
maybe not regularly, but...
It was a big deal. That is a thing that happened for sure.
Yeah.
Happened pretty regularly in that game at the very least.
I mean, they started working together in Nightmare in Dreamland, so...
Yeah.
that was just a remake.
Yeah,
Isn't it weird that that was a remake?
Yeah, that is weird. It seems like one of the big like Kirby games, but it's like a remake. I guess it's sort of the same way that like Super Mario Land 4 is like the big one we remember.
But we played it on the Game Boy Advance.
But it was the remake of Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Or the port at the very least. But yeah, so Void Termina?
Void Termina.
Which is number 1.
Cool name.
Very cool thing to call your boss. Real cool like appearance and everything.
Yeah.
And then you go inside it and you fight its heart and you come out and you fight it and it's got like wings. It's got like Mark's wings.
That Void Termina means like nothing's end.
Yeah, it's like nothing twice.
Yeah.
It pulled a little bit from like a lot of things. Had Marx's wings, and then once you beat it down, it's like got a Kirby face, and then it like shifts into O2.
Yeah.
Or just dark matter, or whatever the fuck it's called.
And it also uses, and you start fighting with Zant.
Yeah.
And then it turns into Majora's Mask.
Yeah. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's feel-good moments all around. Robobot ended with a real good feel-good moment. And then this game amped it up a notch. Because you're just firing at it like all the time, and then you get to the final thing and it's a beam clash. And you gotta
love a beam clash.
A beam clash is as good as it gets.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're just like mashing the buttons and it's like mixing it up which buttons you gotta mash and like spinning the stick. It's great. It's a beam clash.
It's always a fun time.
Yeah.
Do you want to wrap this episode up with Toxic Bubblegum Talk?
Yeah, it's our bi-weekly Toxic Bubblegum Talk. The best thing about our re-recording schedule is that our episodes come out a week after we talk about them, whereas theirs come out a day afterwards.
Yeah.
So
it's a real harsh divide.
Yeah, we're in a feud now officially. We got called out because we called them out. I don't even remember what we like called them out about.
We didn't call them out about anything.
We just like said things about them.
We said things about Kat's achievement specifically, and that was pretty much it.
I did.
You did say that Alan was too nice to you on the podcast.
I said that one. They brought that one up a couple times. And I did make a dig at Kat's Binding of Isaac.
Right, yeah. I did also say that they never said my name on the podcast, but I realize now that it's not just that. I want to be talked about on the podcast.
You do want to? Or you don't?
It'd be nice if at one point they'd be like, "Oh, William did this the other day," and they have a laugh about it.
Yeah,
but it's selfish of me to want that type of thing. If they do that, they do that. If they don't, then that's their life.
I'm in the opposite boat. I'm very egotistical. I'm very self-centered. They talked in the beginning of the episode that they were like, I'm too nice to him, so I guess I'm not going to be nice to him. And then Kat was like, I promise, every time Alan says something nice about Ben, I'm going to say something mean about Ben.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's just talking about me twice.
Yeah.
I win!
They did focus on you a lot more than me in that one.
Because I was the main one calling them out and saying all the things. You would just occasionally be like, oh no.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh no.
That's fair. How do you feel about them wanting to save our channel the trouble of not getting any...
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't care. I just want them to hang out on their podcast.
Yeah, I want them... I mean, to be fair, we got them in on episode, 50 or some nonsense?
69.
Was it really?
We've talked about...
Very nice.
Yeah, I know.
I like to be reminded. I forget things.
God knows that. You had to be reminded multiple times that it is my birthday tomorrow.
No, I knew it was your birthday tomorrow.
I'm sure you did.
Also, because I got you your gift,
you
months
all
in
get my
advance.
gift early every year.
Because your things you want come out earlier.
Yeah. Mass Effect Andromeda in March last year. Monster Hunter World in February this year.
Yeah. I was looking up game. The family was like, "What does William want this year?" And I was like, "What game does William want?" And it kept coming back to Monster Hunter. I'm like, "I already got him."
Yeah.
Monster Hunter. He's already beaten Monster Hunter. But no, yeah. I don't. That's the self-centered part where we're like, have us on your podcast. You're barely 10 episodes in.
Yeah.
We got you in 69 episodes in, so...
Well, we've been doing this longer than them.
Yeah, that's true. They should have us on for every episode. We should have a joint podcast.
Ooh.
We do. It's called Adventures.
It's called Adventures.
Just the four of us.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we get a podcast. Actually, me and Kat have a podcast, and you and Alan have a podcast.
Oh, no, Ben. Kat and I have actually talked about running a podcast before.
Absolutely not.
Whoa.
I'm going to hit up Kat. We're going to start a podcast.
You don't even know what our podcast is about.
We're going to talk... What is your podcast about?
Well, it'd be one of those things where we explore different things in horror, and I'm a scared baby.
Me and Kat are going to start a podcast about Magic the Gathering.
Why?
I think Kat would really
Wait a
like
minute.
that.
And me and Alan will start one about horror.
Very nice.
Or just Mass Effect. Please, no.
What time are we at?
That's a good question.
It's a great place to end the episode.
28 minutes.
That's
almost 29 minutes.
So once I start, I'm probably gonna. I gotta get my nice computer. Got my taxes back. Maybe get a nice computer. Download a nice program to edit, so I can start editing Adventures episodes.
I'll say this. Oh yeah, get Adventures episodes out there. I'll say this. They were talking a big game. How Kat was like, "I got the Pixel Piracy achievement before you." When that was such an empty threat because we can only record it on certain days, and our recording software is down.
I made a dig. Me and Alan were talking about the episode. And Alan was like, "You said you guys were going to have it." And I was like, "Yeah, well, on one of our podcasts, we make jokes."
That's the thing. I'm making a dig at them. They take things way too seriously.
They have funny bits in their podcasts, to be sure. But a lot of times it's just like legitimate analysis.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Which is fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the pixel piracy.
Oh yeah,
specifically.
They were like, we're so spiteful, and I was like, yeah, kind of, 100%. I was like, I didn't 100% pixel piracy because they called me out on it. I did it because I am addicted to like trophies, and I was like, okay, all right, got it, checks out.
Which that's why I said that, because Kat said, "Oh, I don't have this achievement. I don't have this." 100%.
That was how it all started.
I don't have this achievement 100%ed on Pixel Piracy, and it really hurts my Steam library. And I'm like, okay, and then I called her out on it, and look at the result.
We're heroes.
It's not troubling her anymore.
We're good people for this.
I don't know about that one.
We created a positive change in their lives. And what did they do for us?
They didn't have us on the podcast.
Nothing. We're heroes. We're saints of ourselves.
William's Only Hour Part 3, everyone.
Oh, no.
Can't believe Ben's gone. I did the entire episode alone.
If only he didn't crash 2 weeks ago today.
What do you think, Kat? New co-host of
No.
Cookies and Milk. All right. We had rainbow cookies today.
They were good.
Chips Ahoy cookies and stuff.
So anyways, this episode will go up on Sunday. Adventures will start back up on Wednesday. And tune in Thursdays for a new Magic the Gathering podcast with
Hold on.
my co-host, Toxic of Toxic Bubblegum. We'll call it Toxic. Which am I stupid?
You're stupid.
I'm stupid because
I was
you.
Fuck you. You said it. You said it first. You idiot. Because I thought about it. Because if Kat and I were to ever run a podcast, it'd be Toxic Export.
Of course.
And if you and Alan were to ever run a
Stupid Bubblegum.
Stupid Bubblegum.
That's great. Because like all things considered, Stupid Export is a one-person title.
Yeah.
It's officially my title.
Yeah, it's your title. I have no title.
You're your assistant. That's so old. That's such a far pull. You gotta have a title. I guess you're expert. I guess you're Mr. Export.
I'm Mr. Export. Okay. I'm William.
Mr. Export was my father's name.
Alright, that has been
Mr. Better was my father's name. Call me stupid.
Oh, I'll call you that.
I do like Stupid Export. I think it's a great title.
Yeah, it's good. It's an old archaic one though. Anyway, that has been episode 83 of Cookies and Milk. I have been your host, William.
I've been your host, Ben.
Everyone, good night.